Danny Cole finished stacking the last supply crate and wiped the sweat from his forehead. His shift at the depot was over, and he was tired. Working after school was hard, but his mother needed the help. Living on a space station was expensive, and every credit mattered. He walked through the busy corridors of Harmony Point Station. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved past him. Some had scales. Some had fur. Some had skin in colors Danny had never seen on Earth. Most of them ignored him completely. A few looked at him with something like fear in their eyes. Danny was used to it by now. Humans were new to the galactic community. They had only made first contact 5 years ago. To most alien species, humans were primitive, dangerous, and unpredictable. They called Earth a death world because of its harsh conditions. They said humans were survivors of a planet that should have killed them. Danny did not feel dangerous. He was just a 16-year-old boy who missed Earth, missed his friends, and missed feeling like he belonged somewhere. He made his way to the observation deck on level 7. It was his favorite place on the whole station. The deck had large windows that looked out at the gas giant below. The planet was beautiful, with swirling storms of orange and red. Danny liked to sit there and think. It was quiet, and most aliens avoided the area because humans often came here. Today, the deck was not empty. A girl sat alone near the largest window. She was not human. Her skin was pale blue, and her hair was silver like moonlight. Her eyes were large and dark, and she had delicate features that made her look almost fragile. She wore a simple dress in white and gold, and she was staring out at the gas giant with a sad expression on her face. Danny hesitated. He knew he should probably leave her alone. Most aliens did not want to talk to humans. But something about the way she sat there, so lonely and small, made him walk closer instead. He sat down on a bench a few feet away from her. She noticed him immediately. Her large eyes went wide, and she tensed up like she was ready to run. "Sorry," Danny said quickly. "I did not mean to scare you. I can leave if you want." The girl studied him for a long moment. Then, slowly, she relaxed. "You are human," she said. Her voice was soft and musical. "Yeah," Danny said. "My name is Danny. I am Xylith," she said. "My father is Ambassador Thalers of the Valorian people." Danny nodded. He had heard of the Valorians. They were known for their diplomacy and their peaceful ways. They were also known for being physically weak compared to most species. A fall that would bruise a human could break a Valorian's bones. "What are you doing here alone?" Danny asked. Xylith looked back at the window. "My father has meetings all day. He always has meetings. I have nothing to do and no one to talk to." "No friends on the station?" She shook her head slowly. "The other children are told to stay away from me. Their parents say I am too delicate, too important, too different." She paused. "And they say I should stay away from humans." Danny laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Yeah, I have heard that before. We are the scary Death Worlders, right?" Xylith looked at him with curiosity. "You do not seem scary to me." "I am not," Danny said. "I am just a kid who works at a supply depot and misses his home planet." Xylith tilted her head. "You miss Earth?" "I have heard it is a terrible place, full of predators and disasters." Danny smiled a little. "It has those things, yeah. But it also has blue skies and green forests and oceans that go on forever. It has sunsets that turn the whole world orange and pink. It has people who laugh and cry and love each other." He shrugged. "It is home. I miss it." Xylith was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "That sounds beautiful." "It is," Danny said. "Maybe you will see it someday." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching the storm swirl on the gas giant below. Danny felt something strange. For the first time since coming to this station, he did not feel completely alone. "Danny," Xylith said softly. Why did you talk to me? Most humans avoid us too. They say we are too fragile, too boring, too alien. Danny thought about it. I do not know, he admitted. You just look lonely. I know what that feels like. Xylith smiled. It was a small smile, but it was real. I think I like you, Danny Cole. I think I like you too, Xylith. She stood up and smoothed her dress. I must return before my father's guards come looking for me. But I would like to see you again. There is a garden atrium on level 12. It has plants from many worlds, including Valoria. Will you meet me there tomorrow? Danny nodded. I will be there. Xylith gave him one last smile, then walked away. Danny watched her go, feeling lighter than he had in months. He had made a friend. A real friend. It did not matter that she was an alien. It did not matter that her people and his people barely trusted each other. She was kind, and she was lonely, and she had talked to him like he was a person and not a monster. He stayed on the observation deck a while longer, watching the planet and thinking about tomorrow. He did not notice the figure standing in the shadows near the corridor entrance. The figure was tall and thin, with scales that shifted colors to blend with the darkness. It had been watching the whole conversation with cold, calculating eyes. The figure raised a communicator to its mouth and spoke in a hissing voice. Target confirmed. The ambassador's daughter has made contact with a human child. This is irrelevant to the mission. Proceed with elimination as planned. A voice crackled back through the communicator. Understood. The Valorian girl dies tomorrow. Make sure there are no witnesses. The figure clicked off the communicator and melted back into the shadows. Tomorrow would be a day of blood. The human boy would learn a harsh lesson about the galaxy. Some friendships were not meant to survive. Danny walked home with a smile on his face, completely unaware of the danger that was coming. He thought about Xylith and the garden atrium and the plants from distant worlds. He thought about how nice it would be to have someone to talk to. He had no idea that by this time tomorrow, his whole life would change forever. Danny woke up the next morning with a feeling of excitement he had not felt in a long time. He rushed through his breakfast while his mother watched him with a curious smile. You seem happy today, Kira Cole said. She was a tall woman with tired eyes, but a warm heart. Working as a cargo logistics coordinator kept her busy, but she always made time for her son. I made a friend, Danny said. I am meeting her at the garden atrium later. His mother raised an eyebrow. Huh? Danny felt his face get warm. It is not like that, Mom. She is Valorian. Ambassador Thalros's daughter. Kira's expression became serious. Danny, be careful. The ambassador is an important person. There are people on this station who do not want peace between humans and the other species. Getting close to his family could put you in danger. I will be careful, Danny promised. But in his heart, he was not worried. What could possibly happen in a garden? He finished his breakfast and headed to school. The hours crawled by slowly. He could not focus on his lessons. All he could think about was the garden and Xylith and the strange, wonderful feeling of having a real friend. When his classes finally ended, Danny hurried to level 12. The garden atrium was one of the most beautiful places on the station. It was a large dome filled with plants from dozens of worlds. There were trees with purple leaves, flowers that glowed in the dark, and vines that moved on their own like living creatures. Xylith was already there, waiting for him near a fountain. She smiled when she saw him, and Danny felt his heart lift. You came, she said. I said I would, Danny replied. She took his hand and led him through the garden. She showed him plants from her homeworld. There were delicate white flowers that chimed like tiny bells when the air moved. There were tall grasses that swayed in patterns that looked almost like dancing. There was a small tree with silver bark that Xylith said was sacred to her people. On Valoria, we plant one of these trees when a child is born, she explained. The tree grows with the child. When the child becomes an adult, they carve their name into the bark, and the tree becomes their protector. That is beautiful, Danny said. Xylith touched the silver bark gently. I miss my tree. I miss my home. I understand, Danny said. I miss Earth too. They sat together beneath the silver tree and talked. They talked about their families, their dreams, their fears. Xylith told Danny that she wanted to be a healer someday, to help people who were hurt or sick. Danny told her that he did not know what he wanted to be, but he knew he wanted to matter, to do something important with his life. For the first time in a long time, they both felt like they belonged. Then Danny felt something wrong. He did not know how to explain it. It was like a cold wind on the back of his neck, like a shadow passing over the sun. His instincts screamed at him that danger was close. He looked around the garden. Everything seemed peaceful. But near the edge of the dome, near a cluster of tall purple trees, he saw something that made his blood freeze. The air was shimmering. It was subtle, almost invisible. But Danny had grown up on Earth. He had learned to notice small things that were out of place. Predators on Earth used camouflage. Danny knew what it looked like when something was hiding. Xylith, he whispered. Get behind me. What? She said, confused. The shimmer moved. It moved fast, faster than Danny had ever seen anything move. The camouflage dropped, and Danny saw the creature beneath. It was a Vendari. Danny had heard of them. They were serpentine beings with scales the color of dried blood. They had long fangs filled with venom that could kill almost any species in seconds. They were assassins, killers for hire, feared across the galaxy. The Vendari lunged at Xylith. Its fangs were aimed at her throat. Danny did not think. He did not have time to think. His body moved on pure instinct. He threw himself between Xylith and the assassin. The fangs sank deep into his shoulder. Instead of her neck, pain exploded through Danny's body. It was worse than anything he had ever felt. It was like fire and ice and electricity all at once. He screamed and fell to the ground. The Vendari pulled back, shocked. Its yellow eyes were wide with confusion. You took the bite, it hissed. No species has ever willingly taken a Vendari bite for another. You are mad. Danny could not respond. The pain was too much. His vision was going dark. Xylith screamed. It was a high, piercing sound that echoed through the garden. Alarms began to blare. The Vendari looked around, then cursed in its own language. It activated its camouflage and disappeared into the shadows. Danny! Xylith was crying, holding his hand. Danny, please, stay awake. He tried to speak, but no words came out. The venom was spreading through his body. He could feel it, cold and deadly, racing toward his heart. Security officers arrived within minutes. Commander Grace Holt led them, a tough woman with short gray hair and sharp eyes. She took one look at Danny and shouted for a medical team. Dr. Nathan Perry arrived seconds later. He was a thin man with glasses and a calm voice, but his face went pale when he saw the bite wound. Vendari venom, he said. Get him to the medical bay now. We have maybe 3 minutes before complete system failure. They lifted Danny onto a stretcher and rushed him through the corridors. Xylith ran beside them, still holding his hand, still crying. Please, she begged. Please save him. He saved me. He took the bite for me. Dr. Perry looked at her with sad eyes. I will do everything I can. But Vendari venom is almost always fatal. I have never seen anyone survive it. They burst into the medical bay. Danny was placed on a table. Machines were attached to his body. Lights flashed and alarms beeped. Danny's heart was slowing down. His breathing was getting shallow. The venom was winning. Then something strange happened. Danny's body temperature spiked. His heart rate, which had been dropping, suddenly jumped. The monitors showed readings that Dr. Perry had never seen before. "What is happening?" Xylith asked. Dr. Perry stared at the screens in disbelief. "His blood," he whispered. "His blood is fighting the venom. It is not supposed to be possible, but his immune system is attacking the toxin." Danny's body shook on the table. Sweat poured down his face. His veins stood out against his skin, glowing faintly with a strange light. Then, slowly, his vital signs began to stabilize. His heart rate steadied. His breathing deepened. The glow faded, but something had changed. Danny opened his eyes. They were the same brown eyes he had always had. But behind them, there was something new. Something powerful. Something awakened. "What happened to me?" he whispered. Doctor Perry shook his head slowly. "I do not know. But you should be dead, Danny Cole. You should be dead, and instead, you are alive." He paused. "More than alive. Something inside you has changed." Danny looked at his hands. He could feel energy moving through his body, pulsing with every heartbeat. He could hear sounds he had never heard before. He could feel the heartbeats of everyone in the room. The venom had not killed him. It had awakened something that had been sleeping inside him all along, and now everything was different. Danny lay on the medical bed for hours while Dr. Perry ran test after test. Blood samples were taken. Scans were performed. Every machine in the medical bay was focused on understanding what had happened to him. Xylith never left his side. She sat in a chair next to his bed, her hand resting near his. Every time Danny looked at her, she gave him a small, worried smile. "You should rest," Danny said. "You do not have to stay." "You almost died saving me," Xylith replied. "I am not going anywhere." Danny wanted to argue, but he was too tired. And if he was being honest with himself, he was glad she was there. Her presence made him feel calm in a way he could not explain. Commander Grace Holt came to check on him twice. She asked questions about the attack, about what Danny had seen, about the assassin. Danny told her everything he could remember. The shimmer in the air, the speed of the attack, the yellow eyes of the Vindari. "His name is Scarith," Commander Holt said. "He's one of the most dangerous assassins in the galaxy. We do not know who hired him or why they want Ambassador Thalros and his family dead. But we will find out. He will come back," Danny said quietly. "He did not finish his mission. He will try again." Commander Holt nodded grimly. "I know. That is why I have guards stationed outside this room and outside the ambassador's quarters. No one gets in or out without my permission." She left, and Danny closed his eyes. He could hear her footsteps moving down the corridor. He could hear the guards breathing outside the door. He could hear the hum of the station's power systems, the distant heartbeat of the reactor that kept everything alive. These were sounds he should not have been able to hear, but he heard them anyway. Dr. Perry returned with a tablet full of data and a look of wonder on his face. "I have never seen anything like this," he said. "Your body did not just survive the venom. It absorbed it. It used it. Used it how?" Danny asked. "Humans evolved on Earth, one of the most dangerous planets in the galaxy," Dr. Perry explained. "Your world is full of toxins, radiation, predators, and disasters. Over millions of years, humans developed immune systems that are incredibly aggressive. Your bodies are designed to adapt, to survive, to overcome." He pulled up an image on his tablet. It showed Danny's blood cells under a microscope. Normal human blood fights infections by destroying them. Your blood did something different. It broke down the Vindari venom and incorporated it into your cells. It made the poison part of you. Danny stared at the image. "What does that mean?" "It means the venom activated something in your DNA, something that was always there, waiting. Dormant adaptations that humans carry but never use because modern life is not dangerous enough to trigger them. Dr. Perry paused. Until now. Danny sat up slowly. His body felt different, stronger, more alive. He could feel things he had never felt before. The electrical systems in the walls, the heat signatures of people nearby, the faint vibrations of footsteps 3 floors below. "What can I do?" Danny asked. "I do not know yet," Dr. Perry admitted. "Your senses are clearly enhanced. Your reflexes tested off the charts. Your strength has increased significantly. But I think there may be more. The venom changed you at a fundamental level. We will need time to understand the full extent." The door opened and Ambassador Thalros walked in. He was a tall Valorian with the same silver hair as his daughter. His face was lined with age and worry, but his eyes were sharp and intelligent. "Father," Xylith said. Standing up, the ambassador walked past her and stopped at Danny's bedside. He looked down at the human boy for a long moment. Then he did something that shocked everyone in the room. He bowed. "Ambassador, you do not need to," Danny started. "Silence," the ambassador said, but his voice was gentle. "You saved my daughter's life. You threw yourself in front of an assassin's strike. You, a human child, nearly died to protect a Valorian girl you had only just met." He straightened and looked Danny in the eyes. "I have spent my career working for peace between our peoples. I have argued that humans deserve respect and trust. But I will admit, I never truly believed it in my heart. I thought humans were too violent, too unpredictable, too dangerous." He placed a hand on Danny's shoulder. "I was wrong. You have shown me what humans truly are. Not monsters, not savages, but protectors. People who will give everything to save someone they care about." His voice cracked slightly. "Thank you, Danny Cole. Thank you for saving my daughter." Danny did not know what to say. He looked at Xylith, who was crying again, but this time she was smiling. "I would do it again," Danny said simply. "She is my friend." The ambassador nodded. "Yes, I see that now." Commander Holt entered the room again. Her face was serious. "Ambassador, we have a problem. Our sensors detected a breach in the station's outer hull 2 hours ago. Someone came aboard. We believe Scarith has called for reinforcements." Danny felt a chill run through him. "More assassins?" "We think so," Commander Holt said. "We are searching the station now, but Vendari are experts at hiding. They could be anywhere." Danny closed his eyes. He reached out with his new senses, trying to feel something, anything. At first, there was only the normal noise of the station. Thousands of heartbeats. Thousands of lives going about their day. Then he felt it. A cold spot in the warmth. A presence that was trying not to be felt. It was distant, somewhere in the lower levels of the station, but it was there. "He's here," Danny said. "I can feel him." Everyone stared at him. "What do you mean, you can feel him?" Commander Holt asked. "I do not know how to explain it," Danny said. "It is like a shadow in my mind. Cold and patient. He is waiting." Dr. Perry looked at his tablet. The enhancement to his senses must include bioelectrical detection. Humans already have a weak ability to sense electromagnetic fields. The venom must have amplified it dramatically. Commander Holt considered this. "Can you track him?" Danny nodded slowly. "I think so. But I need to get closer." "Absolutely not," the commander said. "You are a civilian, a child. I will not let you hunt an assassin." "He will keep coming," Danny said. He looked at Xylith. "He will keep trying until she is dead. Your guards cannot stop him. They cannot even see him. But I can feel him. I can find him." Xylith stepped forward. "I am going too." "No," Danny and Ambassador Thalros said at the same time. "Yes," Xylith said firmly. Danny cannot protect me forever. If there is danger, I want to face it with him, not hide while he risks his life again. Danny wanted to argue. He wanted to tell her to stay where it was safe. But when he looked into her silver eyes, he saw strength there. She was not the fragile girl he had met on the observation deck. She had changed too. Fine, Danny said. But you stay behind me. Commander Holt sighed heavily. This is against every protocol. But you might be our best chance of finding Scareth before he strikes again. She pointed at Danny. You track. My officers will take him down. Understood? Danny nodded. He stood up from the bed. His body hummed with power. Whatever the venom had awakened inside him, it was ready. Scareth was out there. Waiting in the shadows, Danny was going to find him. Danny moved through the lower levels of the station with Xylith close behind him. Commander Holt had given them a security escort, but Danny had asked the officers to keep their distance. Scareth could sense large groups. If they moved in force, he would run. The lower levels were different from the rest of the station. Up above, everything was clean and bright, designed to make visitors feel welcome. Down here, it was all machinery and storage. Pipes lined the walls. The lights flickered. The air smelled like metal and oil. Danny stopped at an intersection and closed his eyes. He reached out with his new senses, feeling the world around him. He could sense the officers behind them, their heartbeats steady and nervous. He could sense small creatures moving through the vents, station rats that had found their way aboard years ago. He could sense the pulse of the power grid beneath his feet, and he could sense Scareth. The assassin was moving. He was 3 levels down, near the waste processing center. His presence was cold and sharp, like a knife hidden in darkness. This way, Danny said. They descended a ladder to a maintenance corridor. Xylith moved quietly, her light steps barely making a sound. She was scared, Danny could tell, but she did not run. She stayed with him. Danny, she whispered. What does it feel like? Your new abilities? Danny thought about how to describe it. It feels like I have been asleep my whole life and just woke up. Like the world has colors I could never see before. I can feel everything. Every heartbeat, every breath, every electrical signal. He paused. It is overwhelming sometimes, but also beautiful. Are you scared? Yes, Danny admitted. I do not understand what is happening to me. I do not know what I am becoming. But right now, that does not matter. What matters is keeping you safe. They reached a junction where the corridor split in 3 directions. Danny stopped again. Scareth had stopped moving. He was close now, maybe 100 meters away. He was waiting. He knows we are coming, Danny said quietly. Is that bad? I do not know. Maybe he wants to trap us. Maybe he is curious. Danny opened his eyes. Stay close. Do not make any sudden movements. They moved down the left corridor. The lights were dimmer here, and shadows pooled in the corners. Danny kept his senses stretched out, tracking the assassin's position. They entered a large chamber filled with old storage containers. Some were stacked 3 high, creating a maze of metal walls and narrow passages. This was a perfect place for an ambush. Danny stopped in the middle of the chamber. I know you are here, Scareth. Silence answered him. Then a voice came from everywhere and nowhere at once. You have strange gifts for a human. I have killed hundreds of beings across dozens of worlds. None of them could sense me while I was cloaked. The voice was cold and hissing. What are you? I am the one who took your bite and survived, Danny said. I am the one who will stop you from hurting my friend. Laughter echoed through the chamber. You think you can stop me? I am Vendari. We are the greatest assassins in the galaxy. Your species is barely out of the caves. Maybe, Danny said, but I am still standing. And you ran away yesterday. I think you were scared. The laughter stopped. The air shimmered to Danny's left. He moved without thinking, grabbing Xylith and pulling her behind a container as Scareth's claws sliced through the space where she had been standing. The assassin decloaked, his red scales gleaming in the dim light. His yellow eyes burned with anger. You should not have been able to see that coming. Danny pushed Xylith deeper into the maze. Run. Find the officers. Tell them where we are. I will not leave you. Go. Danny shouted. Xylith hesitated, tears in her eyes, then turned and ran. Scareth watched her go with a predator's gaze. She cannot escape me. I will finish you and then hunt her down. No, Danny said. You will not. Scareth attacked. Danny had never been in a real fight before. He had taken some martial arts classes on Earth, but that was nothing compared to this. Scareth was fast, faster than anything Danny had ever seen. His claws were like razors, and his tail whipped around like a weapon of its own. But Danny's new abilities made him faster too. His enhanced reflexes let him dodge strikes that should have killed him. His heightened senses warned him of attacks before they came. He moved through the fight like water, flowing around the assassin's attacks. He landed a punch to Scareth's ribs. The assassin hissed in pain and backed away, shocked. Impossible, Scareth said. No human should be able to match a Vendari in combat. Humans are full of surprises, Danny said. They clashed again. This time, Danny was ready. He blocked a claw strike and countered with an elbow to Scareth's jaw. He ducked under a tail swipe and kicked the assassin in the knee. He was not stronger than Scareth, but he was fighting smarter, using his senses to predict every move. Scareth grew more desperate. His attacks became wild, uncontrolled. Danny dodged a lunge and grabbed the assassin's arm. He twisted, using Scareth's momentum against him, and threw him into a stack of containers. The containers crashed down with a thunderous noise. Scareth emerged from the wreckage, bleeding from a cut on his head. His yellow eyes were wide with something Danny had never expected to see. Fear. What are you? Scareth hissed again. I told you, Danny said. I am human. Scareth activated his camouflage and disappeared. Danny could still feel him, a cold shadow fleeing through the maze. He wanted to chase, but his body was screaming with pain. The fight had taken everything out of him. Security officers burst into the chamber moments later, led by Commander Holt. Xylith was with them, and she ran to Danny's side. Are you hurt? She asked, checking him for wounds. Danny had cuts on his arms and a bruise forming on his face, but nothing serious. I am okay. He ran. He is scared now. Commander Holt surveyed the damage. You fought a Vendari assassin and survived. More than survived. You wounded him. She shook her head slowly. Dr. Perry was right. You are something new, Danny Cole. I am still me, Danny said. Just with some upgrades. They made their way back to the upper levels. Along the way, Commander Holt received a message that made her face go pale. What is it? Danny asked. We found evidence in Scareth's hideout, she said. He sent a message before we interrupted him. He called for backup. How many? Commander Holt met his eyes. 3 more Vendari assassins. They will be here within 12 hours. Danny felt the weight of that news settle on his shoulders. 1 assassin had nearly killed Xylith. 4 would be almost impossible to stop. But he looked at Xylith, at her frightened face and her trembling hands, and he felt something rise up inside him. Not fear, not doubt, determination. Let them come, Danny said quietly. I will be ready. He did not know if that was true. He did not know if he was strong enough to face 4 killers. But he knew one thing for certain. He would die before he let them hurt his friend. Velith Siren had spent her entire life surrounded by servants and guards. From the moment of her birth, she had never been alone. Every meal was tasted for poison. Every room was checked for danger. Every person who came near her had been watched, questioned, and approved. Now she sat in a tiny medical bay on a human cargo ship, and no one was watching her at all. The human medic had left to get food. He had simply walked out, leaving her alone with an unlocked door and access to everything in the room. It was either incredibly trusting or incredibly foolish. She had not yet decided which. She looked around the small space. The equipment was old but clean. The blankets on her bed were worn soft from many washings. On the wall, someone had taped a picture of a planet with blue oceans and white clouds. Earth, she assumed. The human homeworld. The door opened. Danny returned carrying a tray. "I wasn't sure what you could eat," he said, "so I made soup. It's mostly vegetables and broth. Should be gentle on your stomach." He set the tray on the small table beside her bed. The soup smelled simple but good. There was also a cup of water and a piece of bread. "Thank you," she said. He smiled and sat down in his chair. "How are you feeling? Any pain?" "Some. It is manageable." "Good. Let me know if it gets worse. I can give you more medicine, but I don't want to use too much. Don't know how it affects thyron biology." She picked up the spoon and tasted the soup. It was warm and mild. She realized suddenly that she was very hungry. "You have been kind to me," she said between bites. "You and your crew. I have not properly thanked you." "No need for thanks. We just did what anyone would do." She looked at him. "No, that is not true. Most would not risk their ship for an unknown alien in a damaged pod. Many would have left me to die. Some would have taken me prisoner, hoping for ransom." Danny frowned. "Well, those people are wrong. When someone's hurt, you help them. Simple as that." It was not simple at all, Veilith thought. But she did not say so. She finished the soup and set down the spoon. Danny took the tray and set it aside. "Can I ask what happened?" he said. "To your ship, I mean. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to." Veilith considered her answer carefully. She could lie. She could give him a partial truth. But something about this human made her want to be honest. "I was attacked," she said. "People who wanted me dead. My guards fought to give me time to escape. I do not know if any of them survived." Danny's expression grew serious. "I'm sorry. That's terrible. It is politics. Such things happen in my world. Your world sounds rough." "It is. It is. But I have never known anything else." They sat in silence for a moment. Through the wall, Veilith could hear the hum of the ship's engines and the distant sound of voices. The crew going about their work. "I need to speak with your captain," she said. "Sure. I'll take you to her when you're ready." "I am ready now." She started to rise, but her wounded leg buckled under her. Danny caught her before she could fall, his hands gentle but firm. "Easy there. Let me help." He supported her as they walked slowly through the corridors of the ship. Veilith noticed everything. The cramped spaces, the worn metal floors, the way crew members nodded at Danny as they passed, their faces open and friendly. On her ships, no one would dare to meet her eyes. Captain Laura Bennett was on the bridge, reviewing star charts. She turned when they entered, and her expression shifted from surprise to concern. "You should be resting," she said. "I need to speak with you," Veilith replied. "Privately." Bennett looked at Danny. "Wait outside." Danny nodded and helped Veilith to a chair before leaving. The door closed behind him. Veilith took a breath. "I have not been fully honest with you. My name is Veilith Sirain. I am the Empress Heir of the Thyran Dominion." Bennett's face went pale. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then she slowly sat down in her own chair. "The Empress Heir," she repeated. "Yes, the attack on my ship was an assassination attempt. Rivals within my own court want me dead so they can seize power. My entire escort was destroyed protecting my escape. Bennett rubbed her face with both hands. Okay. This is big. What do you need from us? Safe passage to the nearest Dominion outpost. Once there, I can contact loyal forces. How far is that? Approximately 6 days at your ship's speed. Bennett pulled up a star chart. Her fingers traced possible routes. We can do that. But I have to be honest with you. Our ship is slow. If whoever attacked you comes looking, we can't outrun them. I understand the risk. And my crew didn't sign up for this. They're cargo haulers, not soldiers. I will reward you. Whatever you ask, it will be yours. Bennett shook her head. That's not what I mean. I'm not asking for payment. I'm just telling you the reality. We'll help you because it's right. But you should know what you're dealing with. Valeth stared at her. Another human saying the same strange thing. Helping because it was right. Not for reward. Not for power. Just because. There is one more thing, Valeth said. Your medic, Danny. I would prefer that he not know my true identity. Why? Valeth hesitated. He treats me as a person, not as a title. I have never experienced that before. I wish to understand it better. Bennett studied her for a moment, then nodded slowly. I won't tell him. But if things get dangerous, he'll need to know. Agreed. Valeth returned to the medical bay with Danny's help. He asked no questions about her conversation with the captain. He simply made sure she was comfortable, checked her bandages, and settled back into his chair. Get some rest, he said. Tomorrow I want to start some physical therapy for that leg. Physical therapy? Exercises. To help you heal faster. It might hurt a little, but it'll be worth it. She looked at him. This man who had no idea he was speaking to one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy, who treated her wounds with the same care he would give anyone, who smiled at her like she was just another person. Danny, she said, why did you become a medic? He thought about it. I was a soldier once. Saw a lot of people get hurt. Got tired of watching them die. Figured I'd rather spend my life putting people back together instead of taking them apart. That is a good answer. He shrugged. It's the truth. Now sleep. Doctor's orders. She closed her eyes. For the first time in many years, she felt something she had almost forgotten. Safe.